He was delightful. He was curious.
2 words that easily describe Eli Robinson. Growing up on the seacoast, he loved the outdoors, music, animals, and never met a stranger.
Wouldn't hurt anything or anybody.
His 2 favorite companions, his older sister Marta and his baby brother Duncan.
He was our middle.
Eli was my big brother, so I looked up to him so much, everything.
Duncan and Eli shared a love of sports and would compete against one another growing up. That competitiveness turning to support as Eli watched Duncan achieve both their dreams in the NBA.
Really being my biggest supporter, which I think would be a tough transition for any big brother, and Eli, I think, handled it beautifully.
It is hard to talk about him. It's very raw.
Growing up, Eli struggled. He started drinking and smoking pot, which turned into a full-on battle with addiction.
For me, as a mother, he was a runaway train from that moment on.
At 31, the voices began. The family was shocked to learn of Eli's schizophrenia diagnosis, with no history of it in their family.
So schizophrenia is a brain disease that affects patients' thinking, feeling, and behaviors.
Dr. Jody Marshall says there's typically a time where symptoms are subtle before they're full-blown.
The majority of patients will need to be on medications indefinitely, and the medications are not curative.
For Eli, it was constant voices telling him that his family was in danger.
I would say that it was hard to contain the voices. That was our biggest struggle from then on.
He would go to their homes and call them multiple times a day, several to Eli's Whisperer, which was the nickname the family gave to Duncan, because even though he was living in another part of the country, Eli would always listen.
We were all so deeply intertwined with his life.
Over the course of 4 years, Eli was in and out of 16 different treatment facilities and trying all sorts of different medications, but none seemed to last.
This started a very long period of time of having our hopes like, yes, this is going to be this can work, and then it would slowly stop working, and then we would get on, try another one.
But the bad times came with the good times too.
If Eli was coming in a good place and in a good headspace, it just raised the entire room. Part of that was we understood what the other side of that was.
The family being together helped ground him. So did his job at Joe's New York Pizza and working out at Planet Fitness.
It was just like he could never quite get his footing, which is really what was most heartbreaking about the whole thing.
All of this while fighting his addiction and staying sober.
Eli had 3 grounding pillars, I would say. His sobriety, being an uncle to my daughter Gemma, and being Duncan's older brother. Those were like his
Shiny days, and he had a lot of them.
Sobriety was one of Eli's proudest accomplishments. It was something he was fiercely committed to, despite it fueling the voices. On April 30th, Eli's battle ended after jumping off the Piscataqua River Bridge in Portsmouth for the 2nd time, tortured by the disease.
I don't think it was something that was planned. I think that he truly was his mental state was so altered and he was so distressed, he needed to escape. And that's what he did.
The family is now at the forefront calling for added protections to bridges like the Piscataqua River Bridge. A task force was created earlier this year, made up of Maine and New Hampshire officials, and signs with 988, the National Suicide Hotline, were added. But the Robinsons want to see more done, like installing barriers and netting.
It's crazy how available that jump is.
After Eli's passing, his family says his community continues to lift them up. Whether it's a card in the mail or a stranger walking down the street, stopping and sharing a story of Eli or their own loved one's struggle with mental health.
And all those little supports are very short and very little, but they end up being this huge beam of light for all of us. And those little moments do matter. They do support us.
Or the hundreds of donations flowing into the Seacoast Mental Health Center in Eli's name.
The work that the Robinson family and the efforts they've made is something I've never seen before in such a short amount of period of time. They've really channeled their tragedy into something positive.
The Robinson Family Foundation is in its beginning stages that will surround mental, physical, and heart health. Their hope is to offer resources to those who need it.
We are fortunate we had means to help them, we had intelligence, we had heart, and we had connection with each other to give them that incredible scaffolding. There's so many out there that don't have that.
And offer a hand to those like Eli, living right here at home.
Our mission here is to just normalize there are a lot of people living with this horrible mental illness. He was special, and he was such a beautiful person. He really was.